Unto thee, O I am, do I lift up my soul. O my God, I trust in thee, and let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Yea, let none that will wait on thee be ashamed. Let them be ashamed which transgress without cause. Show me thy ways, O Yahweh. Teach me thy paths. Lead me in thy truth, and teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all day. Remember, O I am, for tender mercies and thy loving kindness, for they have been ever of old. Remember not the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions according to my mercy. Remember thou me for thy goodness' sake, O Yahuwah. Good and upright is the I am, therefore will he teach sinners in the way. The meek will he guide in judgment, the meek will he teach his way. All the paths of the I am are mercy, truth unto such as keep his covenant and his testimonies. For thy name's sake, O Tata Nzambe, pardon my iniquity, for it is great. What is man that he feareth the I am? Him shall he teach in the way that he shall choose. His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. The great secret of the I am is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. Mine eyes are ever toward the I am, for he shall pluck my feet out of the net. Turn thee unto me and have mercy upon me, for I am desolate and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. O bring thou me out of my distresses. Look upon my affliction and my pain, and forgive all my sins. Consider my enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. O keep my soul and deliver me, and let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in thee. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee. Redeem Israel, O Yahuwah, out of all his troubles. Yes, deliver me out the hands of evil spirits, who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forevermore. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Prayer of Abraham. And we just read from Psalms chapter 25. Yes. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We thank God. Yes, God is merciful. He is omnipotent. We all praises belong to the I am. I am thy provider. I am thy strength. I am thy healing. I am, he says. I am that I am. Yes, all praises to the Most High. He is worthy of all praise. His holiness and his mercy endureth forever. Yes, he is clean and right, and even his laws are clean, they're pure, in that his laws are fair. If we're going to use English, they're fair. They're fair unto the woman who is bereaved of her young ones through a murderer. They're fair to the one who has been lied to by a conman, and then brought to shame because they have nothing because he lied. Thou shalt not lie. Yes, the ways of God are fair. It's fair unto he that walk out of to those who young'uns and who look upon this demon that calls those to walk out of their gender, and those who do deviant copulative acts. Yes, his laws are fair in that he says, delete them. That people might fear not to do these things. And stands firm on your deletion. Yes, God is fair. He's fair to us in all manner, all ways. God is fair. But we say, is God's ways not right? And he looks to you and says, oh, your ways not right? You look to do your evil, but expect for people to have mercy upon you. Expect for people to forgive you. You do your evil and hide your hands and make excuses for yourself, but yet you forget there's a victim there. And you hide with words, you lie with words and sentences and full of deceit. Oh, God has a way you can't get past it. And he knows how to give his servants, even those of his people, wisdom to discern beyond your deceit. Yes. We're in the book of 1 Samuel. And also, we want to thank God for those of you who have been with us from the beginning. We thank the Most High for those of you who have been with us, yes, here and there's about. And we thank God for those of you who are just subscribing. We thank God for that. And we thank God for those of you who are about to subscribe, should I say, calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, all praises to the Most High. Yes, we're going to address one of our viewers. They ask, what is the names of God? Can you name God and his son? Well, the son, God has many sons. We're going to get to that. Now, the word Yah, we use the word Yah. The word Yah, most of the times the word Yah would mean I am. Just like in their coastal language, it means, the word Yah means I am that I am. Now, if we go to Exodus 3:14, turn with me, 3:14, Exodus 3:14. Yes. Exodus 3:14. Now, we see that, well, Exodus 3, I'm all the way in verse 14. Chapter 14, should I say. Exodus 3:14. And God said to Moses, I am that I am. Why did he say that? Because they wanted to know who the name of God was. He said, I am that I am. In other words, I can provide for you. I can give you. I can do. I am that I am. I'm your protector. I'm the one that gives you strength. I'm the one that raised you from the dead. I am that I am, which is very wise of him. What name, out of the Greek context of things, what name can we give him? The Greeks have given God many names, to tell you the truth. You can see one of them as we continue, and I'm going to stop this. This is going to be brief. Okay, and also let's look in chapter, Exodus 6. Look in Exodus 6. Exodus 6 and verse 3. Now he goes on to say, and I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and to Jacob by the name of God Almighty. Would that be God Almighty? Or is that means power Almighty? Or what he said, I am. I am Almighty. See, you have to realize this is out of Greek translation to help the Greeks understand. Alexander the Great or whatever, they came and they gave this Bible to their people. They translated it in that it makes sense to their people according to how they feel it should make sense. Okay? But by the name Jehovah, this is where you get Yahuwah from. Was not I known to them. And I've also established my covenant with them. In other words, Jehovah would be Yehovah or Yahweh also. So that name is, we don't give God a name. God said he was I am that I am. See, these things here have been just infiltrated by Greeks. That's it. By Greeks during the time of Alexander the Great. They've been infiltrated. But by my name, Jehovah. Now, what did he mean? Jehovah, Yahweh is what the Yiddish people say. Yahweh, Yahuwah. Okay, we'll give you that. But Yah, we're going to use the word Yah or Yao. Yah. I am. Is what it translates really to. I am that I am. I was not known to them. I am what? And I have established my covenant with them. Now also let's go on to, should I say, we're going to look at Exodus 17. Look at Exodus 17 and 5. Exodus 17 and 5. And the I am said to Moses, go on before the people. Well, I might have gotten that wrong there. I think it's 17 and 15. Yes, that's what it is. I'm looking at my notes. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah or Yahovah or Yahweh Nisi or Yahuwah Nisi. See, this doesn't make any sense. Now, you have to realize, now, he took a stone, and what happened here? One on the side of the other. His hands were steady until the goal. It talks about how that they defeated Amalek. And he said, write this and rehearse it in the ears, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek. And Moses built an altar and named it Jehovah Nisi, for because the I am have sworn, or they say Lord will have war upon. Now Nisi, this is what we're looking at. What does the word Nisi? Now the Christians say it means provider. They say provider, but it doesn't mean that. It says he said Jehovah Nisi. It means when he said Nisi will have war with Amalek. Generation to generation, Jehovah will have war. Apparently that's what it means by what they're doing. Okay? He did it after the event that had happened. If you understand the event that happens, then you understand why they say Yahweh, Yahuwah, all these names. But Yah would be this prefix of what we call is really not a name. It's just who he is. He is that he is. He just is. He exists. I am. There is no name you can give God. The only people that give names is slavers and those globalists and those people who want to own things. God gave you something to go by, and this is what you call on him with. Now we also look at Judges. The book of Judges also talks about Jehovah Shalom. In other words, I am peace, or Jehovah, or Yahweh Shalom. I am peace. Okay, now let's go on to the sons of God. There you go, Genesis chapter 6. And then I'm going to be done with this. Genesis chapter 6. We're going to look at 2. See, and God spake unto Moses and said unto him, I am the owner. That's what Lord's supposed to mean. Some says deviant God or angel or whatever you want to call it, or spirit. And I appeared to Abraham. And he says, or should I say chapter 6, or Job chapter 1 and 6. I'm sorry. So sorry. Yes, Job. Turn to Job. I'm trying to expedite this as quick as I can. Job 1 and 6. Job 1 and 6 says what? Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the I am, and Satan came also among them. It should read, the Satans came, or one of the Satans came also among them. Now, the sons of God, in other words, this is plural. There was no one son of God. All these were created by the Most High. God does not beget, neither is he begotten. I want you to do your own research of that, because it's in the Bible, it's there. God doesn't beget, neither is he begotten. But he's the creator. See, this is why I shun the New Testament. There is no one son. There are many sent. Moses was sent. He was a Mashiach in itself. Elijah was sent, a Mashiach, a deliverer, a judge in himself. Samuel was sent. He was a judge. He was sent, a judge in himself. So therefore, God has many sons. He's a creator. This is the way the Greeks would label this, as sons. But Enoch puts it better. He is the father of spirits, the creator of spirits, even you which are a spirit. But we're going to let that go and get back into our lessons. That's just a little bit on the sidetrack. We don't really get into stuff like that. We just read the scriptures, and those things are also in my archives, where you can go and look and pay attention to. There is no one son of God. God does not lay with his creation. Not when in the book of Genesis. They laid, Genesis chapter 6. They laid with the children of men, the women. This was forbidden with God. Now, how is God going to send a spirit or some spirit to overshadow Mary to inseminate her? She had to be inseminated or something. Think about it, how much sense, that biblical sense, that makes. Else God would be a liar. How can he condemn angels or spirits for laying with the children of men, and he going to send a spirit, or he himself lays with this creation of his? It's not going to happen. So that deems that false doctrine, period. Regardless of how they fixed it up and manipulated it and caused and infused a lot of things in it. Yes. I mean, whether you understand it or not, it is just what it is. Because we have been blinded with such simple things, even myself. God has to open up our minds to this. Now, we're in the book of 1 Samuel. The book of 1 Samuel, and we're in chapter 20, I believe chapter 24. We had just came out where David fought the battle, or Samuel, the things in Keilah. David went to Keilah, and Saul wanted to go to Keilah, and he wanted to fight David and demise him. Yes, he wanted to do that. But the I Am told David to leave. He asked the I Am, should I leave? And I am thy counsel. His counsel told him, go. Yes. God is whatever he's done for you. Whatever he's done for you. That's God's name. He just is. There is no son. There is nobody next to him. He has many messiahs, many judges, many prophets. Yes, this is God. But you're going by the auspices of men if you believe that this Isis and all these other people are the only ones and this is God come in the flesh. No, this is a lie. They come in the flesh. That's what happened. Men have dressed it up to nothing, to blasphemy toward the Most High. But also it's there because God allowed it to be there, to turn you backwards, Israel, to make you forget about him, like he said in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Yes, he said that, and he did that. You just can't believe that. And if he has enough mercy to grab you and tell you, come to me, and you see through all the Christianity and Islamics and all these other denominations and pagan religions to finally see what is already written before you, then we know that is God that brought you to himself. Yes. Now, we're in 1 Samuel chapter 25. We're going to read this briefly, hopefully short. I think I read it. Yeah, I did. No, it's not short. So we're going to go to a part 2 on this. And I hope that helps those of you who have questions about the name of the Most High, which is, he says, I am that I am. I go with that first thought. If you want to say Jehovah, Yahweh, or whatever, that's perfectly fine, because Yah means I am. Period. So nini na nini, I am that I am. I am. That's what it means. I am that I am. That's in the Xhosa language they are found in South Africa. Their ancient language. Now, what they do today, the heathen have changed things. But that's by design. God allows that stuff. I'm not blasphemous against God because I said so. God said it in his own word that he was going to make you forget about him. He's going to make you don't remember. He's going to make sure because of your evil, he was going to make it find you even all the way till it takes you out. God said these things. I didn't say them. We wrestle with words and everything instead of trying to find out, what do you require of me, God? Why am I missing this thing? Chapter 25, 1 Samuel chapter 25 and verse 1. And Samuel died. Samuel died. The prophet died. The man that made kings died. But the anointing in the word of God didn't die, in that David is still anointed king over Israel. Now all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him and buried him in the house at Ramah, in his house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man of Maon whose possessions were in Carmel. And the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now that is being rich then, because people value food. This day we value money but it buys food. This is why your oppressor wants all your land, because if he gives you money, you will give him most of your money for the food, and he who controls food controls the land. You control the people because people have to eat. This is a necessity. It's not an if, and, or but. It's a necessity. It says now, 3, and the name of the man of Nabal, and the name of his wife was Abigail. Oh, this is beautiful. Now she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance. I mean, a pretty woman, but yet she was wise. This is wife, man. This is wife stuff here. Wife. But the man was churlish, evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. In other words, this was one of the, heroes of the taking back of the land of Canaan. He was one of Canaan's relatives, Caleb's relatives, yes. But he was churlish and evil in his doings. This man was deceitful. He didn't care nothing. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal, remember that name, did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men, and David said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus ye shall say to him that liveth in prosperity, peace be unto thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. Now we know that Abigail probably was one that was given to Nabal he either bought her or got her through some type of deal with her father. Yes, by the description given to Nabal. Now, these things were normal in ancient Israel. And in some places today, these are normal where a young girl is given. Maybe she might be even 10 years old, given to an older man to raise her up. And then he will eventually marry, copulate, and have children with her. And his other wives. Usually this type of man will have other wives that will raise her as a daughter, yet she's a sister. Until she reaches the age that she is of age to copulate with this man. Some of you look in your English brainwashing and your colonizer brainwashing. They are trying to be more righteous than what they are. God is not unrighteous. And that he allows this thing because he knows the human body. Didn't he make it? He understands the human psyche. Didn't he make it? But you don't. Because you have been raised from a child to understand and know another thing. This is why it's so important that you read the word of the Most High. That you read the 66 books. I don't care. Just read it. Just read it. Keep reading it over and over and over again. Many of us, we're so taken with our YouTube and our social media antics that they put on to take you away from the things of God, to take you away from the things that count, the political and things that can affect you grossly. Some foolish fool does a thing. Yes, it's funny. Okay, I watch that. But let me get back to the Word of God. That I might know and be aware of my surroundings, the political happenings, the wars that surround you. You don't know if it's coming your way or not. We reject knowledge. We love foolishness. We'll prioritize foolishness over the knowledge that we seek from God. Oh, I wish I could do that. Yes, you can do the same thing, because if you study and apply yourself, you can be just as good as anyone else in anything. How you think the fool became fool? He applied himself to foolishness. Now, in verse 7, and thus shall you say to him, verse 6, and thus shall you say to him that liveth in prosperity, peace be to both thee, and peace to thine house. That means all his wives. Peace unto all that thou hast, and his children. And now I have heard that thou hast shearers, and thy shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not. Neither was there aught missing unto them, and all the while they were in common. Excuse me. Excuse me. Ask thy young men, will they show thee? Wherefore let the young men find favor in thy eyes. For we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever come to thy hand unto thy servants and unto thy son David. What's his? I mean, think about it. David was not the son of Nabal. That was just a place of saying you are an older man and I am subordinate under you. That's what that was saying. And when David, young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servant and says, who is David? Who is the son of Jesse? And there are many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I then make... He didn't know David was anointed king over Israel. He did not even know this. I mean, a man that is rich, that's blessed because of Caleb, who has children and wives and many concubines, and if, just have everything that he wanted and need. He still had to work, though. He was shearing his sheep, wasn't he? Now, let's continue. And David said to the man, he says, David, young men, turned their way and went again. And they came and told him all the sayings. In verse 13, and David said unto his men, gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword, and David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. In other words, their tents, their, whatever they had that they valued. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, behold, now she was a woman, the young man came, he wasn't flirting with her, he told this pretty woman wise woman who conducted herself even more wisely before the young man as it stands. He told his wife, saying, behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them. But the man was very good to us, and we were not hurt. In other words, we knew they were protecting us when they were out in the wilderness, where we were doing our shepherd's work. Yes, they were doing these things. And he says, neither missed we anything as long as we were conversant with them. In other words, we're talking and they're talking and we all talking, just conversing. We don't know them. They're strangers, but they were cool. They were okay. We didn't have no problems with them. Neither missed we anything as long as we were conversant with them when we were in the fields. Now, and they were a wall unto us both by night and day, all the while we were with them keeping the sheep. In other words, we with them keeping the sheep, and they were cool. They watched. They had their watch in the night and the watch in the day to make sure no one comes and steals or hurts us. Now, therefore, know and consider what thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial, evil, selfish, greedy, capitalistic, that a man cannot speak to him. In other words, he thought he was more than all that in a cup of tea. This black man, Nabal, he was just, he was like some would be. You get a little money, a little this, a little position, and everything under you is no good. Only thing you have to answer to is the one that gave it to you. And then you don't even acknowledge God. And Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves. Now, this woman was wise. She said, hold up, I ain't dying of this fool. And 2 bottles of wine, and 5 sheep ready dressed, and 5 measures of parched corn, and 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on asses. And she said unto her servants, go before me, and behold, I came after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. And it was so, as she rode on the ass, she came down by the covert on the hill, and behold, David and his men came down against her. She had to be informed of the young men where he was. And she met them. And now David said, surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow hath in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertained to him. He hath requited me evil for good. And there are people like that. You can be on your job and you do that extra mile. You do that extra thing. Oh, you just be glad you got a job. You didn't have to do nothing. pat you on the back, give you a plaque or something like that. You need something to buy you some extra food or get your car payment paid or something like that. We ain't talking about no plaque or no trinket. They're good for that, especially on the corporate scene. Man, you better get what's due you. If what you did cost $1 million, give me $1 million, I'm walking. And sell it to somebody else in another country or something. This is what you have to do. Because some of these will take you away and then take your idea and give it to their master above them. And all the glory is theirs, and they'll give you a little trinket for what you've done. Don't be fooled. Surely in vain have I kept all this fellow in the wilderness. Now in verse 22, and so more also do God unto the enemies of David. If I leave of all that pertain to him by the morning light any that pisseth against the wall. Now he's saying, hey, Abigail, I'm about to tear y'all up. But when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the ass. And David fell before David on her face. In other words, she was humbled. She knew that this man was great, and bowed herself to the ground, and fell at his feet, and said, upon me, my Lord, upon me let this iniquity be. She, not for Nabal she did this, no, but for everyone that was under Nabal, that she knew she did this. She knew she was his wife. By whatever virtue she's his wife, she was his wife, period. Now, David could have took her as he took Bathsheba, but what is he going to take with a son of Caleb? That would really be something God would go against. Now, you have to realize Bathsheba was a what? Gentile. She wasn't Israelite. Not at all. Not in the least. No way. And apparently he might have thought he could get away with it because she was a Gentile. And lighted off the ass and fell before David. We'll get more into that when we cross that road. Now, and fell at his feet and said, upon me, my Lord, upon this iniquity be thine handmaid. I pray thee, speak in thy audience, and hear the words of thy handmaid. Let not my king or our protector. See, it means owner. See, this is where you get confused in the words Lord. They didn't say Lord back then. This is what the translators used to try to help you understand. Trying to say he owned her. David did not own Abigail at that time. He was never her owner. He was her husband eventually. Now, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thine handmaid, saw not the young men of my king, our protector, whom thou didst sin. I mean, this Lord word, this is what they use in their translation, and we take these things face value, but you have to look at the doings. He doesn't own her. Again, this is something they said in old English days, period. Now, therefore, as the I am liveth, I'll just skip over that word because it doesn't make sense in the sentence structure. It doesn't make sense to say that, to get you used to this. And then they come back with the movies of, oh, thou didst say this and that, and we're greater than anybody on the face of the earth. Look at our puff dress so we can pick up and commit dung to the ground and keep moving, and nobody knows who ever did it. Come on, him. But anyway, it says his folly is with him in verse 26. Now, therefore, as the I am liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing that the I am hath withholden thee from coming. Now, which one is Lord, David or the I am? Which one? See, she had to have a word for each one of them. For coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself, and with thine own hand. Now let thine enemies, and they that seek evil of thee, or you, or whatever, be as Nabal. But now this blessing which thine handmaid hath brought unto you, let it be given unto the young men that follow you. I pray, forgive the trespass of thy handmaid, for the I am will certainly make you a sure house. Now she knew the greatness of this man. She knew something was going to become of him. Because my husband fighteth because you fighteth the battles of the I am, and evil hath not been found in thee all thy days. We're going to end it right there, and remember that God is known by his doings. That's why he said, I am that I am. I do this, I am that. I possess all things. This is God. This is the creator, to put it plainly. The one who's the only one that is omnipotent. Satan is not omnipotent. When you hear one Satan, you've heard a lie. Satans are many. There are not just one Satan. Else he's no. How is Satan here and he's over there? How is this church rebuking Satan and that church way over far west or east is rebuking Satan at the same time? There's no way. Then you say Satan is equal with God. This is foolery. Blasphemy. Making Satan equal with God, just as some men want to be equal with God. These are the sways of the evil ones over men's hearts, using words which can be used as witchcraft. And with that, we have to cleave to the word of the Most High. Until next time, we're going to go into verse, I think 28. Yes, 28. 27, 28, right in there. We're going to say peace.
Walk with me.